Hello, welcome to the Liverpool Community Podcast with me, your host Phil Beale. And today we have one of the Big Condo Weekender acts in the studio with us today. They're going to be playing at the Shipping Forecast in a couple of weekends' time, and we're really looking forward to that. So we have with us today, we have Katrina, we have Joe, and we've got Paul of Cat and the Strays. So welcome you guys.
Hi.
Thank you very much. Hi.
Good to see you all. So where did the name come from?
Oh gosh, after many different names, I think we settled on Cat and the Strays, obviously with my name being Katrina.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, but it's not Waves. Obviously not
Yeah.
Waves.
I wanted to call us Katrina in the New Waves.
Yeah.
No one wanted that.
Voted down.
Yeah.
So, but Strays obviously was a bit more appropriate.
Essentially, yeah.
For us too, yeah.
They turned up eventually, did they? Yeah, absolutely. So you're on guitar and vocal,
I am, yeah.
songwriting duties.
Yes.
Okay, Paul, you are
Bass.
bass guitar, fingerstyle.
Fingerstyle,
Not
yeah.
pick. Yeah,
Not
we'll
pick.
talk about that.
That's right.
Joe.
Drums and BVs. They let me
BVs.
sing now.
Oh, is that okay?
After years of trying.
Bit
Yeah.
of harmony going on, is
Yeah.
there?
Well, kind of.
That's
Fantastic.
sounding good, to be fair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So tell us about what the style is. What's come on, talk about what
Oh,
what your
gosh.
music sounds like.
Okay, so I've got a lot of different influences. So I suppose going from like soul into like Indian rock and pop. So I suppose all of that kind of combines into the music.
Fabulous, yeah.
So I can't say there's one definitive style.
Did people ever say, you know what you sound like?
We get lots of things. I mean, you guys come up with names for this, alternative names for the songs, like the Texas one, or the Red Hot Chili Peppers one, or
But it actually probably sounds nothing like any of that.
This is praise indeed. This is high quality stuff.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
great,
you,
isn't
you
it?
could decide on Friday if
Yeah,
you think.
that's great. Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So you're going to get half an hour.
Yeah.
So how many songs you got lined up? What do you reckon, about 5? You think with a bit of banter
Yeah,
in between?
maybe 5 or 6. We have been doing the set.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
songs are longer than others, so
Yeah.
I think we're about to bang on, aren't we? Half an hour.
Cool. Have any of you played the Shipping Forecast before?
Yeah, we have with our other band we've played.
Not with Cat and the Strays.
One,
but
haven't we?
I've played there before.
Yeah, have you
Yeah.
played the
I haven't,
Shipping
no.
Forecast?
So it'll be a new experience for me.
Have you been there?
They haven't, but I need to go down before we go.
It's a
definitely.
great little venue.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
Sounds really good in there.
Yeah, it is. That's right. It's a great atmosphere. I've played
Nice,
a few
nice
times.
compact room, innit?
It is, yeah. Nice and low as well. The
Yeah.
ceiling's nice
Yeah,
and low.
yeah.
Yeah.
Basements are always better venues. You just want to go a bit more crazy,
Absolutely.
don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So where have you guys played up to now?
We have done Round the Corner.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah. We've done the Swinging Arm in Birkenhead.
I haven't been to that one. The swinging what?
The Swinging Arm.
Oh, the swinging
yeah.
arm. Sorry, it was just an
Old-fashioned
accent from
rock-
there. Sorry,
rock bar,
the
really.
swinging arm. Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
told me, I
That's a
didn't-
motorbike term. That
It
is.
is. I didn't
Yeah.
realise. And someone
Yeah.
said it's part of a motorbike.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the suspension on the back wheel is the swinging
Yeah.
arm.
We've both that sort of thing.
There we go.
It's been worth coming just for that, hasn't it? God. Trust me, mate. My brain is full of crap like that. Completely useless crap like that.
Where else have we played? The Pig and Whistle.
Yeah.
Where else have we played?
Cock and pull it.
Cock and Pullers.
Yeah.
We've done some
Sounds like a
open
challenge.
mics.
Molly's.
Chambers, yeah.
Molly's Chambers.
Yeah.
Great song. I've not seen that venue. Where's that one?
That's on Wirral.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are you guys actually based?
Our studio will be practicing over here,
Yeah.
but we're based between Wirral and Liverpool in terms of where we live.
So you are from over the water.
They're from over the water.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
from this side. Can I just
I've just cottoned
say-
on to this.
And in fairness, I'm from the right side of over the water.
Oh, there's a right and the wrong side of over the
I didn't
water.
realise that. I've just learned something new myself.
What was in Birkenhead, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Practically an island.
Yeah. I'm a recent immigrant. But obviously, I've got a long track record of loving
Of course, yeah.
Liverpool, and it's
I'd like to see Birmingham City fans in Beatles too.
there'll be more than one, mate. I'll tell you now. No, yeah. So that's where I'm from, fairly recently. But I'm just getting onto these local rivalries. I actually live in Widnes, and somebody said the word woollyback, and I thought, what? What? Sorry, am I an honorary woollyback or something? Have you heard that term?
Oh, yeah.
For people from Sunderland.
Outside of Liverpool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, basically.
And the closer they are, the more woolly they are. Ironically. Go and work that out if you can.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm still trying to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've got a soul background. You've talked about that, those influences and the style that you're working in. We've got Paul making a major change in his bass playing. So how long have you actually been playing bass, Paul?
Since I was, I'm 50 now, so since I was 15.
Yeah, okay.
So a long time.
Yeah.
And I've always played in the same kind of attack style because I'm a punky, rocky guitarist.
Yeah.
That's not going to work with Cat.
Yeah. You mentioned Andy Rourke, and let's just make a point.
Sadly,
he's literally just passed away in the last 24, 48 hours.
But a major influence on me. But then, you know what? I love the Beatles. I love Macca as a bass player.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I just thought with Cat stuff that needed to be a kind of change of the way I play.
Yeah.
To change because of the songs. But that's been a pleasure and a learning curve for me.
Fantastic. So
You can teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah. So you've switched from the pick.
Yeah.
You've ultimately made the switch from the pick.
Phil.
Mate, it's a progression of age. It's a function of age. I'm sorry, mate. You're not a punk anymore,
No.
and I still think I'm a hippie.
Well, but no, those songs are, that's what they need. That's what they deserve.
Fabulous, yeah. You
So-
get greater feel that way.
Yeah, it's to sympathise with the way Kat wants to express express herself.
Fabulous.
I'm happy to help.
Well, it's all teamwork, isn't it, at the end of the day? That's the
certainly
key
is.
thing, absolutely. And I believe there's a rule going on for drummers, right? A rule, I believe, is a rule of the band in rehearsal.
Oh, no, it's just my rules, my 3 rules.
It's your 3 rules, okay. Okay, so one was no sticks, is that right?
No. What they're...
Yeah.
Everyone's got her own rules.
No.
Oh,
Because,
so let's do them by skills, by
that's
no, they're not my
by
rules.
discipline.
They're what I'm told to do. Because I'm naturally a punk drummer and play loud, I have to use them rods and brushes and things like that. So it
Go all soft and delicate.
soft and delicate and tappy tap and all that. Yeah.
Do it very well.
She loves it.
She looks like she loves it. Maybe not. But you're getting into the music, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good doing it that way because you listen more and you change your style, and because it's a lot less, you start adding extra little dinks and things where when you're playing full on and you're just going for it, you're missing a lot more of the technicalities, so it's probably good in that way.
Yeah, fantastic.
There's more of a learning curve.
Yeah. I've got, you mentioned that you've got a wide range of musical taste, I do too. And I always feel time and time again, it doesn't matter what genre it is, it's more about this. I know it's probably a cliche amongst musicians, but it's more about the spaces between the notes than the notes. Mm-hmm. It's all about those. That's where the feel is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And that's so important. Is that where you're coming to, like with that sort of change of style? And
Yeah, little stops and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we are a 3-piece, but we were briefly a 4-piece.
Yeah.
And I think going back to it being a 3-piece, that we've really improved, I think.
Yeah, you've got that space to fill then, haven't you?
That's the spaces you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there starts to be, you can really slow a song down, or you can just put, real kind of empathy into a song.
Emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it? Ultimately,
exactly, that's the word.
It's about him, isn't it? It's about that.
We have a song called Smile that's really, it's really slow and what would you say, like jazzy?
Yeah,
It
you're
reminds
moving
me-
into the areas of jazz as well.
Yeah, and that's got a lot of space. It flows, doesn't it? And it's got a
Fabulous.
real, it doesn't really, when you're playing it, it just comes together, but there's a lot of space in that song where it sounds good for having that space.
You can't really play it wrong, and it kind of changes each time because it's that open to just do what you want on
That's
it.
kind of how it should be,
It is
isn't
one of
it?
those songs that you can kind of improvise it every
Yeah.
single time. It's
Yeah.
never gonna, it wouldn't be the same any time you played it.
Yeah.
And that's on the set list for
It is,
certainly is,
for
yeah.
the Friday night. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. I can't wait. Like I just said to you, I'll be doing the stage management. I also might be playing with a band at some point, so that'd be great to see you guys there.
And
Can't wait.
you
to
play
hear
bass?
I'll be playing rhythm guitar. We've actually lost our bass player, so we're going to be playing as a 3-piece. But whatever, that's not for
rock and
today.
roll.
That's the nature of bands.
Yeah.
So what was your 4th member that you've shed? Obviously, it was 25% more hassle than someone else's diary. But what was he playing, rhythm guitar or lead guitar?
Lead guitar,
or
yeah.
Lead guitar,
I was
yeah.
more rhythm because obviously, like I said, he only started playing and teaching myself guitar a few years back.
Yeah.
So they had more skill than me in terms of that. So they were more lead guitar and follows. But yeah, Yeah, we've gone back to a 3-piece now, so
Yeah.
now I'm proper front and centre again.
Are you stretching out a bit with your playing, would you say?
I'm trying to,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think,
Definitely is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think like at first it starts off really strummy,
Yeah.
but now we've got a few that are a bit more picky.
Yeah, yeah.
That's lovely, yeah.
Yeah, so it's progressing and moving forward.
Sure. So you played acoustic and electric, or one or the other?
Acoustic,
Always
mainly.
acoustic,
Yeah.
electroacoustic, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fabulous, yeah. Yeah, I like using both at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole world, isn't it? A whole world of experimentation and God knows what.
Expensive hobby. You could end up with them. I used to wonder why everyone had lots of guitars. And
Oh.
now we play, I'm like, okay, because that one sounds like that, and that one does that. And that's different.
Now I
because
need
of that.
another one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I understand. And I might venture out to electric guitar in the future. But
Well, one of the best memes I saw was somebody said, if you know how many guitars you've got, you haven't got enough. There's always another one under the bed somewhere. I've forgotten about that one, blimey. True story, isn't it? True story.
I've got 12 and I don't even really play guitar.
That's a drummer.
That is true.
That's fantastic. Oh, dear.
I mean, I've got 5 and I do play.
They look good.
But they do, though, don't they? I mean, absolutely they do. They are.
Aesthetically, though.
They're works of art in
Lovely
themselves.
shape.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, okay, so I've got a couple of stock questions I tend to throw into the mix. And between you, can you come up with what you would define as the power of music between you? Kat, I'll start with you. What's the power of music to you?
I think music's very emotive. So for me, when I hear a song, it can take me right back to a place where I was, probably more than anything else. It really gives you a feeling. So for me, music is, I don't sound cliche, I say music is life, but for me, I think it is, because it's like the soundtrack of your life almost.
Yeah.
So that'd be my answer.
Fabulous. No, that's really cool. And I'm the same. If I ever hear Place Your Hands by Reef, I know exactly where I was the first time I heard that song on the radio, and I just go, wow. And it is so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just one of my favourite bands. I love them as a live act. Yeah. So what about you, Paul? You tell us what you think the power of music is to you, or what your...
Well, it's one of those things that it's constant. It's constantly got playing in my head. I do it every day. I can't stop writing stuff.
Yes.
But like, we'll have a rehearsal after we finished here today, and it's also that's a point at which I can completely switch off and be completely in the moment and not in the room.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it's almost meditative for me. It's like that's a chance to,
without a doubt,
it's a chance to kind of just switch off and do something not only productive, but hopefully sounds good.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I
but
mean?
it's that creative part of your
It's
world,
art,
isn't it?
You know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
is.
At the
Yeah.
end of the day.
What about you, Joe?
Well, it depends what kind of, which band and what I'm playing, but
Yeah,
if it's like some of the heavier stuff, it's like a really good way to channel my aggression.
absolutely.
And then it's also, with any of it, it's kind of a way, it's kind of spiritual, because I can't meditate and empty my head, but I'm on that kind of level when I'm playing music.
It's
Similar to
another-
what Paul's saying.
It's
you know
exactly
I mean?
what Paul said. It's another way of meditating.
Yeah, totally.
You're still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're not sat there cross-legged in the lotus position,
You just forget about everything else.
but
don't
you're
you?
still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely
You're
right.
in the moment, aren't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Rather than of it.
Have we not all turned up to a practice session thinking, this is the last thing I feel like tonight?
Yeah.
This is the very
An
last
hour
thing I
later,
feel
you
like.
can't stop smiling.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably two songs in, probably, you're thinking,
Yeah.
this is what I should have been doing all along, yeah.
Yeah.
I've likened it sometimes because I also am the front guy in most of the bands I've played in, not all of them, but some of most of them. When it's working, I feel like I'm surfing.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
surf,
yeah,
but
yeah, I
it's
know
like
what you
surfing
mean.
on a wave of emotion.
Yeah.
And it really feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really feels
And-
that way.
Well, you're on some mad ride. do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly that. And as
suddenly-
the privilege, it's a privilege to be at the front of that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And if you felt it too.
Especially if it's something you've created yourself,
Exactly,
they're your songs, you know what I
exactly,
mean? And,
exactly.
although we're happy to be the Strays,
But not waifs. Not waifs.
waifs.
Another
That-
good band.
that was gonna be- that
Another
was
good
gonna
band.
be- that
No,
was
they're
gonna
an
be,
Australian band, actually. They're an Australian kind of country rock style band there
Yeah?
called the Waifs. they're really good. Sorry to just throw that in there.
Yeah,
Good
because we went from the Strays to Katrina and the New Waves to Katrina and the Waves. So that was being messed around.
Let's ride that Katrina label, shall we? Yeah.
But I do think, though, what Paul's saying is right, because when I've heard the songs played as a band,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like a real song. And people are like, it is a real song. And I'm
Yes,
like, but
exactly.
I wrote it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's mad to hear it come together. It's really
lovely
nice.
seeing someone, because I've been doing it for years, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But can't, I mean, in fairness, you're quite new to
Yeah.
it. But seeing someone, the delight on someone's face from like something they've written, then suddenly being played like by other musicians and being enjoyed by an audience.
That's right.
It's
right.
You can't put a price on that.
No, you can't. No,
And I'd
you
like to
can't.
say how quickly Cat's come on, because it's only been a few
yeah.
years, and all the songs were good, but it was like pretty basic pop but absolute banger songs to like really complex other styles and everything else now, and you know, she's really coming
She's
up.
got some
She's got it now.
complicated tunes,
Very
yeah.
Fabulous.
we've got one called that we just call the complicated
Complicated
one.
Paul has an alternative set list. I'm like, can we just call them one name, please, and stop naming the song? It makes me confused.
Yeah, they get like, that's the Oasis one, or that's that one, or,
Yeah.
and this is the complicated one.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I love it.
Weirdly, it's not that complicated now. Which I'm quite pleased about.
That's fantastic. So when was the first song you wrote? You actually said to us beforehand when we were chatting, as soon as you kind of picked up the guitar, a little bit later in life than maybe most people do, probably, you actually started writing straight away.
Near enough, yes. So I
Yeah.
started teaching myself beginning of 2018.
Wow.
And then by, like, I'd say like July, I had a song and I played it to my best friend. And she said she was waking up in the morning, like, hearing the song in her head. So I kind of started from there.
That's
So,
a real gift.
yeah.
If you've got that right from the off, that's a real gift. Yeah, and don't throw any away is the other thing I would say, because you go back to them and you think, obviously those are my, what do the Americans call it? I don't know, your sophomore songs, or what do they call it? And I read a lot about other songwriters who say that you've got to get through the rubbish ones to get to the good ones, but it's not necessarily the case, especially if you start late.
Yeah.
Especially if you start late, that's wonderful. No, don't throw anything away ever.
I need to get a new book, but I've got a book and I just write everything down in there. So
Fabulous,
like
yeah.
you say, and it don't get thrown away necessarily.
Yeah, yeah.
You can revisit later, can't
Yeah,
you, and see if-
definitely.
Yeah.
And what about the spiritual aspects of it? Because what I've found is that when I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I really mean that from the perspective of what I was probably put on this earth to do, really weird coincidences start to happen.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that experience?
Hugely. I mean, when I started playing, I went to Joe's for drumming lessons. And then I played one of the songs for Joe, and one of Joe's friends was there, Carl as well, who's also a musician, gave me some positive feedback and encouraged me. Played the songs for Joe, and next minute we're playing together in a band, really. And it's like I've been playing for a year, if that, and I've got a band, which was really bizarre. But yeah, we've done a little gig, didn't we, in 2019?
That was
So-
amazing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then COVID, obviously, stopped
Yeah,
it, but yeah.
yeah. So was that your first gig together?
It was, yeah.
2019, yeah. Obviously,
The
then
one
you.
at the Pig and Whistle.
It was the one to pick and whistle, yeah.
As a three-piece.
As a three, but me and Joe played before.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, and he feel left out. You've joined and stuff.
So, and that's some journey, isn't it? Because obviously you went into 2020 and everything stopped.
Yeah.
But of course, I suppose it gives you time. Obviously, we've got modern technology. We can work remotely, at least in terms of writing and sending stuff back and forth. We can do that, can't we now?
Yeah.
Is that how you got through that, or do we still meet it up anyway? Or
Well, we've done a bit of meeting up
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and it gave me more chance to write songs, because obviously couldn't go
Of
out, so I
course,
wrote
yeah.
quite a few
It was
songs
definitely
during
like more
lockdown.
songs came out. You started writing more, which is great.
Yeah, we wrote corporate number during lockdown, which is one of our faster ones. I guess people dancing normally, so yeah.
fantastic.
That's a banger, isn't it?
So,
Yeah.
what sort of catalogue have you got now that that are sort of there, ready to go? How many have you got?
Well, we've got a set of about 12, something like that, I think.
12
Yeah.
or 15, something like those kind
something
of numbers.
like that. But there's a few other ones that I need to start bringing forward.
Oh,
again
there
and
always
start,
are.
Yeah, start practicing.
Absolutely.
There's a hardcore, I'd say, like at the recent gigs we've done. There's like a set of like between 8 and 10, isn't there?
Right, yeah.
That we could happily bounce out now. Do you know what I mean?
That's great. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Which is, let's be honest, like on most gigs, if you're doing kind of like showcases and that kind of thing. That's about the right
Absolutely right, yeah.
You know, nobody wants to sit through 20 tracks by some band they've never heard before.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? That's the difference, because it's original material.
Yeah.
I mean, have you got some covers in there as well for that sort of audience?
No, we
Right,
have
okay.
discussed some covers,
Yeah.
but we have different opinions on what the covers should maybe be.
Yeah, of course, that's always going to happen, isn't it?
So we haven't ventured down that route yet, but you're right, it's much harder when you play original music
course
to
it is.
engage the audience.
Of course it is.
And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
even getting gigs and things like that, a lot of people want covers
Of
until
course,
they paid gigs and stuff.
a lot of
and
venues do, and trust me, having gigged on the Birmingham scene, that's all they want. And finding those sort of gigs as an original writing band is very, very difficult. It just puts people off.
It's just something I've never done, and I can enjoy watching a band play covers, but I don't really see the point.
Yeah. No, I love it as entertainment. I love karaoke quite honestly. I love anything that's musical.
I'd rather see karaoke. Yeah. Genuinely. Because I think if you've got a jukebox, just put the original on. It's going to be bound to be better. It's not going to be worse, is it?
But finding the gigs is tough outside of this city.
You're absolutely right.
This is a privilege to be here, and I've only been here since 2020 myself, so and somehow managed to find myself involved, which was completely, again, a coincidence, no such thing really. And it's just a wonderful city for music, isn't it? For people that are starting out, even people that have been going a long time, are starting new ventures. It's all there for you.
Yeah, and I do think as well that, you know, you're saying about Birmingham, it's a lot in the live circuit, it's all covers, and a lot of the Merseyside circuit, it's all covers and that. But I do think there's an argument to be had that, like, if people were actually confronted or given another option, you can see people actually want it. They go, oh,
well, without a doubt.
I wasn't
but that's to get a receptive audience, and Liverpool's famous for that as well, I think, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
But I think I do think there's a market for original music.
Without a doubt. That's why we're here. Yeah. That's why we do what we do,
exactly.
To give people that chance. Absolutely.
And there's an audience for it there, definitely.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, absolutely. So the second stop question I ask is, because I'm an outsider, and I've loved. I actually, my mum took me and my big sister to see the Beatles, to see the Hard Day's Night at the Pictures. Unfortunately not live, but to see the Hard Day's Night at the Pictures, which is kind of my first musical memory. Really. It was like being completely overwhelmed with my big sister screaming, like with all the other little girls in the cinema. So that was quite a formative experience for me. So, how did the Beatles impact on your musical life, Paul? Being in the city itself.
Well, I'm gonna just shame myself.
Be as controversial as you want to be.
It's not controversial. I was just I'm an absolute fanboy.
Yeah.
And I have been since I was about 4 years old, probably.
Yeah.
Like, you know, standing on my own mum and dad's dance set, listening to Twist and Shout with a guitar with no strings on it. That kind of, you know, it's that.
My first guitar, I've still got it. My first guitar was that big with the pictures of the band on it. I've still got it.
You know, absolutely love him. You know, and I love McCartney still, and you know, I watched like the whole Get Back thing in one day.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just that boring.
That's cool. That's fine. Joe, are you going to be any more controversial than that?
Yeah, I can't stand the Beatles.
So we have the discrepancy on what we're going to cover.
I prefer all the Manchester music, Stone Roses,
Yeah, you mentioned
Joy
that
Division,
before,
James, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And totally the other opposite spectrum, In Excess, Doctor Hook.
Oh, right, yeah, I saw Dr. Hook playing.
You seen Dr. Hook? I saw them last year.
In a club in Birmingham, in a club in about 1976. They'd just done an old grey whistle test in concert, and I kind of knew Sylvia's mother because that single had happened a few years before.
Yeah.
And I got a load of mates, so we went round to my mate's house with a few. You know, them big party sevens, you remember them?
Yeah.
And
for that, I know of which you speak.
And then these complete nutters ran on the stage, and it was just like, what are these people about? They're completely mental, but hilarious.
The boss out there.
Amazing. So yeah, well, and somebody looked in the paper and said, "Oh my God, they're on at Barbarella's next week. We got to go." So yeah, that was the experience. Sorry, Kat, I'm not leaving you out.
That's okay.
The Beatles and you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Beatles fan. I like some of the songs.
Right,
I like Is It In My Life? I
Yes.
think it's one of my favourite ones. But to be honest, my nan tells me a lot of stories of being out on the scene in the cavern and stuff like that with the Beatles and Billy Fury and a lot of people. So that's more for her. But I wouldn't, if they're on, I'll sing along and stuff, but I wouldn't necessarily put, except for the song I mentioned, on in in my car or my house, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
There's a whole generation of Liverpudlians that can't stand the Beatles because they overshadowed everything everyone was trying to try in Julian Cope's era and McCulloch and all those fantastic
I love
artists.
that. I love
They
that stuff.
hated the Beatles. Well, you're all right, but you're not the bloody Beatles, are you?
I suppose that's like it was 10 years after they'd split up, and you know.
Yeah, that's
Of course,
right. That's
everyone's
right.
banging on
That's
about them,
right.
so
Still
of
going
course
on
you're not
about
gonna
it.
like them.
Absolutely right.
That's
You
the
can
nature of
completely get that, can't you?
Yeah, that's the nature of rebellion, isn't it?
Absolutely right.
I think a lot of my hatred is because I was a barmaid in the city centre of Liverpool for a long time.
Right.
So you're just getting the Beatles.
You got it drummed into
in
you.
your eye constantly. yeah. So that's
So you
not
wanted
good.
controversy? Doctor Hook are better than the Beatles, apparently.
He likes dropping those pebbles in the pond, doesn't he? And seeing
Yes,
see what,
yes. They're
see
like
what
a married couple. They're like a married couple.
I love it.
Wait till we get out of here.
Wait till I get you home.
Yeah.
No, it's been great to meet you guys, though.
Thank you very much for having us.
And you?
Give us the socials. Come on, what's the socials? We've
Okay,
got
so-
people who need to get to you.
Yes, we're on
Find you.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Cat and the Strays Band.
So is it KATAND?
Yes.
THE Strays Band?
Yes. Yeah.
All one word?
Yeah, because a little underscore
Fabulous.
things on Instagram, doesn't it? Between each
Yeah.
word.
Oh, so it's cat underscore and
Yeah.
underscore the
Yeah.
underscore strays.
Yeah,
Instagram.
just to make it confusing.
Awesome.
And then it's just Cat and the Strays on Facebook as well. So we're
Fabulous.
just on them too for the moment. So, yeah.
Fantastic. That's great. So we're all looking forward to the Big Condo Weekender. It's going to be an absolutely boss weekend, as they say round here. I've picked that one up, obviously.
well
I think we call it
a native.
Boston, where I come from.
It's absolutely busting that.
So it's been so good to meet you. Can't wait to hear the music. I'm absolutely stoked. The way you've described it's going to be amazing.
Thank you.
So this has been Phil Beale, myself, the host of the Liverpool Community Podcast here on Liverpool Online. And this has been Cat and the Strays. And they're playing on the 2nd of June at the Shipping Forecast on Seal Street. Have I got that right? Slater Street? Slater Street, next door to the Jacaranda.
Yeah.
And it's going to be absolutely amazing. So we're all looking forward to that. So if you like what you're hearing on this podcast, hit that bell, subscribe, like, send us a message, let us know. Thanks again for today. For now, we're over and out.